Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Digital Information. I am Dr. Kesar Abbas, and today we are going to discuss some important sections of a research thesis and research project. Let's see key section of a research thesis research projects. Introduction. A research thesis project typically consists of several major sections which may vary in their titles and specific content depending on the field of study and the guideline of the institutions. However, the following sections are commonly included in a thesis or in a research project. Title page. The very first key section of any thesis or research project is known as title page. This page includes the title of the thesis, the name of the author, the degree being pursued, the name of the institution, the date of submission, and any other relevant information. Here are some steps to follow when developing a title page for a thesis research project. Number 1, follow your institution's guideline. Create a clear and concise title. Include your name and institutional affiliations. Include the degree being pursued and date of submission. Add any necessary logos or graphics. Check for errors and consistency. These are the very important steps and guidelines when you are going to develop your title page of a research thesis or a research project. Next section is abstract section. This is a brief summary of the thesis that provide an overview of the research question, the method used, the key finding, and the main conclusions. Commonly, the abstract is usually around 250 words and appear at the beginning of the thesis. So, the abstract section should be effective. Here are some steps to follow when writing an abstract for a thesis research project. Number 1, start with a clear statement of the research question. Provide a brief overview of the research methods. Summarize the main finding, emphasize the significance of your research, use clear and concise language, keep it brief, edit and revise. Using these guidelines, you can write a better abstract for your research project and research thesis. Next section is table of content. This lists the major section of the thesis in order with their corresponding page numbers, making it easier for reader to navigate through the document. Table of content. In table of content, a researcher add all the contents in the thesis with page numbers. Here are some steps to follow when developing a table of content for a thesis research project. Number 1, outline the thesis. Identify the main section and subsection. Determine the hierarchy. Number the headings. Include page number. Format the table of content. Update the table of content. You can create your table of content in MS Word through auto generation. So learn MS Word as much as you can when you are going to prepare your thesis or write your thesis or making a table of content in your thesis. It is very necessary for our researcher to have a strong MS Office skill. So we are going to next section of your thesis. Introduction. The next section of a research thesis and research project is introduction section. This section introduces the research question or problem and provide an overview of the thesis. It includes background information on the topic or literature view in short form and the purpose and objective of the study. Here are some detailed steps to follow when writing a good introduction section of a thesis research project. Number 1, start with a general introduction. Narrow down the focus. Provide a rationale for the study. Provide a brief literature review. Provide a summary of the methodology. Outline the structure of the thesis. Following these steps, you can write a good introduction of your research thesis or research project. Here are some further instruction guidelines when writing your introduction section. It is important to use clear and concise language, avoiding unnecessary jargon or technical terms. Use appropriate citation style to ensure that you are properly referencing the literature. Provide a clear and concise statement of the research problem and research question. Provide a clear and concise rationale for the study, highlighting the significance of your research. Provide a brief literature review, focusing on the key themes, debate, and gap in the literature. Provide a clear and concise summary of the methodology that you are going to use in your study. Provide a clear and concise outline of the structure of the thesis, highlighting the key finding and contribution of each chapter. After following these guidelines, you can write a good introduction section of your research thesis or research project. So let's go on next section. So our next section of a thesis is literature review. This section provides a comprehensive review of the existing research on the topic which you are going to study and literature related to the topic of thesis. It identifies gap in the research and highlights the significance of the research question. Here are some detailed steps to follow when you are going to write a literature review for your thesis project. Number 1, define the scope and purpose of your review. Conduct a comprehensive research of the literature. Evaluate the quality of the literature. Organize the literature. Analyze the literature. Then write your literature review. So when you are going to write literature review, you must have good computer skill, internet searching skill, and how to search latest literature related to your topic. In this regard, you need a Google Advanced Search skill, competency of Google Advanced Research skill. Next, we are going to our next section. Here are some more guidelines when writing your literature review. It is important to use clear and concise language, avoiding unnecessary jargon or technical terms. Use appropriate citation style to ensure that you are properly referencing the literature. In this regard, you know that APA style is commonly used to cite the literature in a thesis or in a research project. Next, provide a balanced and objective analysis of the literature, avoiding bias and personal opinion. Use tables, graphs, and other visual aids to help you present the information in a clear and concise way. Following these guidelines, you can write a literature review section in a good and concise manner. We are going to next section. Next section is methodology. This section explains the methods used to conduct the research, including the research design, data collection method, and data analysis technique, and whatever. So it should also include a discussion of any limitation or challenge encountered during the research. Here are some key steps to writing a good research methodology for a research thesis project. The first one is describe your research design. What research design you are going to use in your study? Is it descriptive or correlational or experimental? What type? Next, define your research population and sample. Explain your data collection tools. What tool you are going to use in data collection, for data collection, like questionnaire, survey, checklist, observation, interviews. Discuss your data analysis method and consider validity and reliability. Discuss limitation and assumptions. provide a summary